Alrighty, folks. This is I've lost count of the final thoughts on the GP. I have spent multiple recording kind of just dawdling through various different thoughts, but I don't want to subject y'all to a 30-minute video of me kind of running through various just kind of lingering ideas. So let's just get the basic ideas out of the way, talk about the overall performance of this deck in the field, how I felt about it, and where I think it could be going and where I think the format's going moving forward. So, as always, links in the description below to all your key resources. Most importantly, that custom Magic Discord server. If you're not already in it, join it so you can start playing Revolution for yourself along with the rest of us. Now, Black Red Looters. I am admittedly feeling a little bit of fatigue with looters. I know I mentioned at the start of this that it's kind of become a tradition that I start a season off with looters, but I never really quite hit the highs of last May, and I think some of the cards in this deck have started to outstay their welcome. I think Ignited Soul has felt a little bit less powerful every time I've played it. Which is a shame. I love this card. I think it's just one of these simple, innocuous workhorse commons, I believe. I believe it's a common. It's a really, really innocuous card that really does get to put in the work, but it has been putting in less and less work over time, unfortunately. Calamity Cat, though. Calamity Cat is still very real. I was very happy to see that Calamity Cat was still capable of some very good things, and so I do think if you're looking to play a red-based aggro deck, Calamity Cat is still absolutely going to do what you need it to do in that context. Dark Sun Migrant, not okay. This thing should not have been gaining Double Strike by any means. I will say this is the time at which I'm going to note that 3 cards in this deck are currently slated for changes. We have been given a teaser of what the upcoming patch is going to be. The current idea of what the curators have for where the changes are going to land. I'm not going to go into that too much. We'll talk about the patch when it drops in February 1st. But to go over the basics, Dark Sun Migrant's becoming a 2-mana 3/2 that falters something, prevents it from blocking when you discard a card once each turn, and then no longer has the like double strike clause, just turns discard into impulse draw. I think Migrant will still be very good in that context. Fabricated Anomaly is losing the enchantment not super type, the enchantment type. I think it'll probably still be pretty good. I don't imagine it's actually really going to matter all that much. It can't be removed by Cloud9. That's about the extent of the Fabricated Anomaly impact, I think, for the enchantment typing. I know that the intent behind it was that it would stop working with Lightless Conquest, but Conquest is also getting a nerf and is going up to 3 mana and getting a full rework to its effect, so I don't think that really matters anyways. But I do understand that there was a concern of this is enchantment plus artifact in a single card, trying to curb that, because that's still a theme in Solitaire. I'm not sure it matters too much, but it is losing the enchantment typing. And then March of the Long Night, I believe, is giving the returned creature haste and death touch in place of having the opponent lose 3. I'm actually going to double check that right now, because I keep talking about death touch and haste. Yeah. I actually really like that change because it makes March of the Long Night still worth playing, but it changes the context of what you're looking to get back. You're no longer looking to get back Spirit Realm Phoenixes, and more importantly, it takes stock away from the second main March of the Long Nights. The ones that come after you attack with Ignited Soul or Dark Sun Migrant on turn 1. Obviously not Migrant on turn 1 moving forward, but takes the stock out of these like 1-drops that rummage after your first main, and encourages you to start using this less as a 2-mana scam a 3-drop into play on turn 2 option, and more as a, one of my things has been removed, let me get it right back right now tool. I still have some apprehension around March of the Long Night, specifically because of Exorcist of Errors. I think that is a really profoundly annoying pairing. We'll see if that annoyance proves to be annoying moving forward. I do think mono black aggro looks pretty good as I've been exploring the lists, and the prospects of such a list. And Exorcist of Errors, I think this month has proved that when backed up by aggression, this card is just so oppressive. Was very happy with Mercenary of Dusk. This card very real, very, very comfortable, subtle, and honest. But this thing will just beat you to death. And then Spirit Realm Phoenix does its job. Not going to be doing the same job anymore because it's no longer 5 damage off of a March of the Long Night. But I think if you're playing a Looters deck outside of black, I think Phoenix, as long as you have like, Calamity Cat, Fabricated Anomaly, maybe one other thing to generate +1/+1 counters, I think Phoenix could still absolutely justify its place in a Looters style strategy. Otherwise, March of the Long Night, as I mentioned, is slated for changes. I'm excited about those changes. Face of Animosity, I think, is going to fall off a little bit in the place of Dark Sun Migrant getting nerfed and no longer getting Double Strike, but I do think Face of Animosity is still a good card. Getting just that 3 additional power, 1 mana deal 3 to the opponent, not embarrassing. 1 mana turn an unfavorable block or a trade into either a trade or a favorable block, respectively, is really great. And Manifest Not, I know it has looked pretty truly awful in this GP run. I have not given up hope on this yet. I do think this could still absolutely put in work. I think it's just not a card that wants to be played with Looters necessarily. I have some ideas and some ruminations on what mono black aggro looks like, specifically looking at Mercenary of Dusk, looking at the updated version of March of the Long Night. And one of the things that is true of mono black aggro is that it is much more inclined to put pressure on the opponent's hand. And so if you can back that pressure on the opponent's hand up with Manifest Not, that is going to do a lot of work, I think. So still optimistic about Manifest Not. This was just not the shell for it. 21 lands felt pretty good. Fabricated Anomaly and the other looting effects really do help smooth out your mana overall for this more aggressive curve. For the sideboard, Dire Visionary felt really good. I think if you're looking to play sort of more of a mono red plan, Visionary plus Fabricated Anomaly really does create the basis for a red aggro shell that is capable of going long. And then Visionary just, it gets out of hand. A Visionary plus Anomaly gets out of hand short-term and long-term, which is great. It's kind of what you want from one of your 1-drops, is for it to either just be a ton of damage right up front, like Calamity Cat, or you want it to be something that can do persistent damage over the long term. And I think the birds help Visionary do that persistent damage. So very, very optimistic about Dire Visionary's place in the format moving forward. Twilight Ambush, obviously a really good card. We didn't get to see a ton of it, just didn't really run into the matchups where it matters, but Ambush, it feels great to have it back, even if we're on a deck that gets preyed on by Twilight Ambush a little more than it could prey on our opponents. Absentia felt a little poorly positioned this month, and Coordinated Shot, similarly, I was not super happy with. I know that the theory behind it is really sound for, like blue-red looters. I think, especially moving forward, if we're not going to be on black-red, if there's like looking to move towards maybe mono-red, you just want to be on Bleeding Out. Being able to transfer excess damage when you shoot a creature up to the opponent's face is just really valuable for making sure that every point of damage gets to somewhere where it needs to be. And I think Bleeding Out could justify its place in the main deck compared to Coordinated Shot as well. So that is Looters. That is where I think the deck could be heading. I think black-red Looters as it exists, especially with Face of Animosity no longer working with Dark Sun Migrant, with March of the Long Night no longer working well with Spirit Realm Phoenix. I think if black-red Looters survives, it's going to be mostly on the back of Mercenary of Dusk into Fabricated Anomaly. Mercenary is just one of the best enablers for Anomaly to consistently get that buff turn after turn. I think it's specifically off the back of Calamity Cat into Mercenary into Anomaly, because Cat into Mercenary is a 4/3 with Menace on turn 2 that mills you for 4, and then keeps milling you for 2 every turn thereafter. That is a lot of pressure and a lot of card flow to graveyard to keep Anomaly rolling, and then you get to play Anomaly, Calamity Cat it, make it a 3/4, and then if you Puzzle Box as well, that is 6 cards total milled when you attack with Mercenary on turn 3, 2 cards discarded to Calamity Cat, 1 additional card to the Puzzle Box, and that is 8 cards, and you only need 7, so you don't even have to activate the Puzzle Box right away. I think 8. Did I do math wrong? I did math wrong. That's 9 cards total. So you definitely don't need to activate the Puzzle Box when you play Anomaly on turn 3. for it to buff up Mercenary and Anomaly. And you can even, with 8 cards in Graveyard, preserve the one thing that you might want to stay there, like a Spirit Realm Phoenix. So I do think that the Black-Red Looters pile can mostly stay intact. I don't think it's going to be the most powerful thing to be doing on the aggressive side of things, though, and so I imagine I will not be revisiting it for a little while. I'm excited to see how the format shakes out with the upcoming patch. That being said, next month is going to be a little more scattershot for me. I am going to be juggling not just the GP, but also our first Eternal Exhibition. I'll have hopefully more information about that as we dive into February and that tournament starts getting ready to roll. And I'm also going to be juggling the February field test, testing out my own set alongside other people's sets. A lot of us prospective candidates for future inclusion into Revolution. It is a lot of people looking to get into the format, so it's going to be some tight competition come time for rotation. So we got lots of excitement to look forward to next month. Might be a little more hiccups in the upload schedule here and there, but we'll do what I can when I can. Until next time, I should have the finals commentary on this particular GP coming soon, either tomorrow or on Friday. And otherwise, I'll see you all in February with the next patch review. Hope y'all had fun with GP Caersol. Hope y'all are enjoying Solitaire so far. And I'll see you all in the Revolution chat. Bye-bye.